Brought to you by WikiVD Documentaries. Order of the British Empire. The most excellent order of the British Empire is a British Order of Chivalry, rewarding contributions to the arts and sciences, work with charitable and welfare organisations, and public service outside the civil service. It was established on the 4th of June 1917 by King George V, and comprises 5 classes across both civil and military divisions, the most senior 2 of which make the recipient either a knight if male, or dame if female. There is also the related British Empire Medal, whose recipients are affiliated with, but not members of, the Order. Recommendations for appointments to the Order of the British Empire were at first made on the nomination of the United Kingdom, the self-governing dominions of the Empire, and the Viceroy of India. Nominations continue today from Commonwealth countries that participate in recommending British honours. Most Commonwealth countries such as India, Pakistan and Nigeria ceased recommendations for appointments to the Order of the British Empire when they created their own honours. Some countries, such as Canada, was still recommending Order of the British Empire gallantry awards awarded 15 months after the creation of the Order of Canada, and Australia, which continued to recommend both Order of the British Empire Meritorious and Gallantry awards for 15 years after the creation of the Order of Australia. Styles and honorary knighthoods. The senior 2 ranks of Knight-Dame Grand Cross and Knight-Dame Commander entitle their members to use the title of So for men and Dame for women before their forename. Most members are citizens of the United Kingdom, or the Commonwealth realms that use the imperial system of honours and awards. Honorary knighthoods are appointed to citizens of nations where the Queen is not head of state, and may permit use of post-nominal letters, but not the title of Sir or Dame. Occasionally, honorary appointees are, incorrectly, referred to as Sir or Dame Bob Geldof, for example. Honorary appointees who later become a citizen of a Commonwealth realm can convert their appointment from honorary to substantive, then enjoy all privileges of membership of the Order, including use of the title of Sir and Dame for the senior 2 ranks of the Order. An example is Irish broadcaster Terry Wogan, who was appointed an honorary Knight Commander of the Order in 2005, and on successful application for British citizenship, held alongside his Irish citizenship, was made a substantive member, and subsequently styled as Sir Terry Wogan. History. King George V founded the Order to fill gaps in the British honours system. In particular, King George V wished to create an order to honour many thousands of those who had served in a variety of non-combatant roles during the First World War. When first established, the Order had only 1 division. However, in 1918, soon after its foundation, it was formally divided into military and civil divisions. The Order's motto is "For God and the Empire." At the foundation of the Order, the Medal of the Order of the British Empire was instituted to serve as a lower award granting recipients affiliation, but not membership. In 1922, this was renamed the British Empire Medal. It stopped being awarded by the United Kingdom as part of the 1993 reforms to the honours system, but was again awarded beginning in 2012, starting with 293 BEMs awarded for Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee. In addition, the BEM is awarded by the Cook Islands and by some other Commonwealth nations. In 2004, a report entitled A Matter of Honour: Reforming Our Honours System by a Commons Committee recommended to phase out the Order of the British Empire, as its title was now considered. to be unacceptable, being thought to embody values that are no longer shared by many of the country's population. Composition. The British monarch is sovereign of the order, and appoints all other members of the order. The next most senior member is the Grand Master, of whom there have been three: Prince Edward, the Prince of Wales, Queen Mary, and the current Grand Master, the Duke of Edinburgh. The order is limited to 300 Knights and Dames Grand Cross, 845 Knights and Dames Commander, and 8,960 Commanders. There are no limits applied to the total number of members of the 4th and 5th classes, but no more than 858 officers and 1464 members may be appointed per year. Foreign appointees, as honorary members, do not contribute to the numbers restricted to the order as full members do. Although the Order of the British Empire has by far the highest number of members of the British Orders of Chivalry, with over 100,000 living members worldwide, there are fewer appointments to knighthoods than in other orders. Though men can be knighted separately from an order of chivalry, women cannot, and so the rank of Knight, Dame Commander of the order is the lowest rank of damehood, and second lowest of knighthood. Because of this, an appointment as Dame Commander is made in circumstances in which a man would be created a knight bachelor. For example, by convention, female judges of the High Court of Justice are created Dames Commander after appointment, while male judges became knights bachelor. The order has 6 officials: the prelate, the dean, the secretary, the registrar, the king of arms, and the usher. The Bishop of London, a senior bishop in the Church of England, serves as the order's prelate. The Dean of St. Paul's is ex officio the Dean of the Order. The Order's King of Arms is not a member of the College of Arms, as are many other heraldic offices. The Usher of the Order is known as the Gentleman Usher of the Purple Rod. He does not, unlike his Order of the Garter equivalent, the Gentleman Usher of the Black Rod, perform any duties related to the House of Lords. From time to time, individuals are appointed to a higher grade within the order, thereby ceasing usage of the junior postnominal letters. Gallantry. From 1940, the sovereign could appoint a person as a commander, officer, or member of the Order of the British Empire for gallantry, for acts of bravery below the level required for the George Medal. The grade was determined by the same criteria as usual, and not by the level of gallantry. Oddly, this meant that it was awarded for lesser acts of gallantry than the George Medal, but, as an order, was worn before it and listed before it in postnominal initials. From the 14th of January 1958, these awards were designated the Order of the British Empire for gallantry. Any individual made a member of the order for gallantry could wear an emblem of 2 crossed silver oak leaves on the same reband, ribbon, or bow as the badge. It could not be awarded posthumously, and was effectively replaced in 1974 with the Queen's Gallantry Medal. If recipients of the Order of the British Empire for gallantry received promotion within the order, whether for gallantry or otherwise, they continued to wear also the insignia of the lower grade with the oak leaves. However, they only used the postnominal letters of the higher grade. Vestments and accoutrements. Members of the order wear elaborate vestments on important occasions, which vary by rank, on certain holidays designated by the sovereign. Members attending formal events may wear the order's collar over their military uniform, formal day dress, or evening wear. When collars are worn, the badge is suspended from the collar. Collars are returned upon the death of their owners, but other insignia may be retained. At less important occasions, simpler insignia are used. Chapel. The chapel of the Order is in the far eastern end of the crypt of St. Paul's Cathedral, but it holds its great services upstairs in the main body of the cathedral. Religious services for the whole order are held every 4 years. New knights and dames Grand Cross are installed at these services. The chapel was dedicated in 1960. Precedence and privileges. Knights Grand Cross and Knights Commander prefix Sir, and Dames Grand Cross and Dames Commander prefix Dame to their forenames. Wives of knights may prefix Lady to their surnames, but no equivalent privilege exists for husbands of knights or spouses of dames. Such forms are not used by peers and princes, except when the names of the former are written out in their fullest forms. Clergy of the Church of England or the Church of Scotland do not use the title Sir or Dame, as they do not receive the accolade, although they do append the postnominal letters. Knights and Dames Grand Cross use the postnominal GBE. Knights Commander KBE, Dames Commander DBE, Commanders CBE, Officers OBE, and Members MBE. The postnominal for the British Empire medal is BEM. Members of all classes of the Order are assigned positions in the order of precedence. Wives of male members of all classes also feature on the order of precedence, as do sons, daughters and daughters-in-law of Knights Grand Cross and Knights Commander. Relatives of ladies of the Order, however, are not assigned any special precedence. As a general rule, individuals can derive precedence from their fathers or husbands, but not from their mothers or wives. Knights and Dames Grand Cross are also entitled to be granted heraldic supporters. They may, furthermore, encircle their arms with a depiction of the circlo and the collar, the former is shown either outside or on top of the latter. Knights and Dames Commander and Commanders may display the circlet, but not the collar, surrounding their arms. The badge is depicted suspended from the collar or circlet. Recommendations by Commonwealth countries. Recommendations for appointments to the Order of the British Empire continue to be made by some Commonwealth realms. In 2016, Antigua and Barbuda, Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Grenada, Papua New Guinea, St. Christopher and Nevis, St. Lucia, Solomon Islands, and Tuvalu all included Order of the British Empire awards in the New Year and/or Queen's birthday honours lists. Since the Second World War, most Commonwealth realms have established their own national system of honours and awards, and have created their own unique orders, decorations and medals. Canada seldom made recommendations for appointments to the Order of the British Empire except for the Second World War and Korea, but continued to recommend gallantry awards for both military and civilians until after the creation of the Order of Canada. Australia continued to recommend the Order of the British Empire until the 1989 Queen's Birthday Honours, nearly 15 years after the creation of the Order of Australia. Criticism. The Order has attracted some criticism for its naming having connection with the idea of the now extinct British Empire. Benjamin Zephaniah, a British Jamaican poet, publicly rejected appointment as an officer in 2003 because, he asserted, it reminded him of thousands of years of brutality. He also said that, "It reminds me of how my foremothers were raped and my forefathers brutalized." In 2004, a House of Commons Select Committee recommended changing the name of the award to the Order of British Excellence, and changing the rank of Commander to Companion. as the former was said to have a militaristic ring. A notable person to decline the offer of membership was the author C.S. Lewis, who had been named on the last list of honors by George VI in December 1951. Despite being a monarchist, he declined so as to avoid association with any political issues. The members of the Beatles were appointed as members in 1965. John Lennon justified the comparative merits of his investiture by comparing military membership in the Order. Lots of people who complained about us receiving the Mbe status received theirs for heroism in the war for killing people. We received ours for entertaining other people. I'd say we deserve ours more. Lennon later returned his Mbe insignia on the 25th of November 1969. As part of his ongoing peace protests. Other criticism centers on the claim that many recipients of the Order are being rewarded with honors for simply doing their jobs. Critics claim that the civil service and judiciary receive far more orders and honors than leaders of other professions. Shin Peng, longtime leader of the Malayan Communist Party, was appointed as an officer for his share in fighting against the Japanese during World War II, in close cooperation with the British Commando Force 136. His membership was withdrawn by the British government when the communist leader headed his party's guerrilla insurgency against the British in the Malayan emergency after the war. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVD Documentaries. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.